Evening, and we have an exciting show for you tonight. We've got Tim Butler from the Psychedelic Furs, and later on this hour, too, our friends from Revenge who's going to stop by and say hello. Tim, welcome.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, and happy holidays, and you have a good New Year?
Yeah, we played on New Year's Eve, so the celebration wasn't exactly up to par, but...
Did you celebrate at least on stage, or...?
Well, a couple of beers, but at 4 o'clock in the morning, there's a lot of catching up to do. So.
You went on at 4 in the morning?
Yes, believe it or not.
Oh, man. How long did you play for?
Well, we were supposed to do an hour, but we did an hour and a half. So,
oh, nice.
So we did more than they wanted. or the people who got us there wanted, not the audience. So. That's always a good thing.
How did 1991 go for you guys? You got the new album World Outside and the tour and everything. Everything go okay this year?
Yeah, I mean, so far we haven't hit a lot of markets, but we're starting up again on February the 7th. So for those of you who didn't see us, we'll be out there.
Terrific. Let's take our first phone call on Modern Rock Live, 1-800-223-ROCK. We go to Amy in Colorado. Hi, Amy. You're on Modern Rock Live with Tim Butler.
Hello. Hi, Tim.
How you doing?
Good. I just want to say you're one of the most chic bands, and I've loved you forever. And I think Richard's lyrics are the most profound and arty.
Thank you. We'll see you hopefully when we play Denver.
Oh, good. I hope you do.
Yeah, we'll be there in February or March, early March. So
great.
Stop on by.
What's your question for Richard, Amy?
I want to know, what advice could you give someone who's trying to get started in the music business? Because, I really admire how you guys do things.
Just believe in what you're doing. I mean, if you're a band that starts out and you don't believe in your sound, and certain bands shift around sounds to go with certain trends, just stick by it. And, it's very hard. There's a lot of bands out there, so if you've got a lot of belief in yourselves, stick at it. Don't give up.
Psychedelic First, speaking of sticking to what you're doing, it's been such a consistent band through all the records. There's been some changes here and there. This particular record, World Outside, though, sounds a lot like the earlier Psychedelic First. Is that intentional, or is that what you...
No, our sound has always been one. From album to album, it evolves.
Yeah.
Our sound is still on this record, like in the early records, which is pretty much a guitar-driven sound. But I don't think it's similar at all to earlier records. So, it's just a natural progression. It's our sound, but, progressed, which hopefully it would do us, we'd give up.
So, yeah, that's true. Yeah. You wouldn't want to do, Into Like a Train and develop Crush's Tuxedo sitting in Las Vegas, right?
Well, actually, if you play Billy Idol's Rebel Yell backwards, it's Ghosting You.
Oh, really? Mr. Idol. That wiseacre. Let's go to Stephanie in New Jersey. Hi, Stephanie. You're on with Tim Butler of the Psychedelic Furs.
Hi, how are you?
Great, how are you?
Oh, pretty good. I had a couple of questions I wanted to ask.
Oh, I don't know if you're allowed a couple.
We'll let this go, Stephanie, because you're from New Jersey. We feel bad if you're ready.
My first question was, how do you feel your new album compares to the older works that you've done?
Well, I think it's absolute genius, but I would do. I think it's this album together with Forever Now are my favourite albums, just the structure and the variety of the songs. We're all very pleased with it, which is why we're enjoying playing live so much on this tour.
Second question?
The other question I wanted to know is, how do you react when you hear a comment, say, from other bands, say English bands or American bands in the alternative scene, and they compliment your work or they may try to imitate your work? How do you feel about that?
Incredibly flattered. To be in as long as we've been in this business for 11 or 12 years, and to still get that sort of compliment and is very flattering. It has to be after that amount of time, and that we can still come out with albums that get great reviews and we get audience reactions like we've been getting. It's great.
Yes, it's an
obviously we have something that people want to hear and people want to rip off or whatever, whatever they want to do with it, it's there.
By the way, we're just kidding about New Jersey. We love New Jersey. Joe in St. Paul, Minnesota. You're on with Tim Butler from the Psychedelic Furs. Hi, Joe.
Hey, Tim. How you doing?
How you doing?
Not too bad. I was going to ask a couple things about some releases that, are you going to be doing a live album at all, or...?
Not at the moment, because we think of live albums as a bit of a stopgap when you haven't got any ideas, for any new material. So we're hoping to go straight back into writing and recording a new album after this one. In fact, when we were rehearsing for this album tour, we wrote 4 new songs, which for us is really quick. It's really good.
How long does it take you to do an album?
Well, the last 2, Book of Days and this album, took us to record 8 weeks, which, I mean, we tended to slip a bit with Midnight to Midnight. We were playing the old rock and roll trip of taking 6 months and whatever. But, I mean, a good album you can usually get done in, I'd say, 8 weeks.
8 weeks, because you've been together so long that it's pretty
and
easy
the
to
thing
click.
is, now we have a new 6-piece lineup, which is pretty much a solid first lineup. We can write and we can do pre-production, and it makes it a lot quicker if you pre-production, then go in. You cut down your time in half,
right,
instead of bringing in a session musician and saying play this or play that, or fuck off, or sorry about that. But
okay, Joe, you have a follow-up question?
Yeah, I do. Is Richard working on a solo effort?
He's thinking about it. I mean, after this tour, I think he's trying to rope me into helping him with it. But yeah, I mean, after this, he's been thinking about it for quite a few years. I think he'll do that, and then we'll be back in studio with the Psychedelic Furs by the end of the year, which is still quick for us.
Yeah, right.
Anybody who remembers the length of time between other albums. So.
What was the most perfect song you guys ever wrote or performed? What's your favorite Psychedelic Furs song?
Personally, mine is President Gas, because of the lyrics and the structure and the use of strings, the cello on it. And that, for me, talking for myself, of course, I know Richard would say something like, I don't know what Richard would say. Richard, what did you say?
I tell you,
Richard's a glove puppet, really.
The Forever Now tour with President Gas was just an incredible tour with the cellists. Who played cello on that? Do you remember who played cello?
A girl called Anne Sheldon, who has since left this mortal coil.
Oh, really?
Sadly enough.
Oh.
But on the road at the moment, we're using our second guitarist, Knox Chandler, plays cello.
Really?
So, yes, we still have the cello in there.
And what about Mars Williams, who you had play saxophone?
We decided to take a rest for the sax for a while, but he's doing well. We saw him in Chicago, and he's got about 3 bands on the boil. He's work, that boy.
All right, let's go to Kristen in West Bloomfield, Michigan. Hi, Kristen, you're on the air. Modern Rock Live.
Hi. I was wondering about how you felt with your Pretty in Pink, and it was brought out to broader audiences who might not have known your work before.
There's good points and bad points to that song and the re-recording. It got us out to a wider audience, but I think it also tended, a lot of our harder core audience tended to think we'd sold out for some reason, because they'd come down to shows and they'd see girls with pink sweaters on, jumping around, and they'd think, what the bleep is this? I'm not going to... they're not the band that I thought they were, which, I mean, that's a bad point, but it did get us through to a larger audience, which, I mean, if half that audience stayed with us and actually listened to our other work, it was worthwhile. The re-recording of it is totally, we don't think about that anymore. It's not as good as the original.
Yeah, that's, I guess, the biggest question. That was like the classic Furs song, Pretty in Pink, and to re-record it, I guess people...
Well, the reason we re-recorded it was CBS at first, when it first came out, wanted to release it as a single, but then it was noticed that one of the guitars was a bit out of tune, and CBS, being perfectionists, wouldn't allow that. So
why have a good song out, right?
Yeah. But now you get bands like Nirvana who make a living off it. So.
There you go. We're going to take a quick break. We're with Tim Butler, the Psychedelic Furs. The number's 1-800-223-ROCK. And we'll also play a track from the brand new CD from the Psychedelic Furs. It's called World Outside in just a moment. This is Modern Rock Live.
And a less aggressive drug than drinking heavily. So I wouldn't sort of say yes or no, but when I'd allow people to make up their own minds, and if you want to go for it, if you don't, don't feel any pressure from peers to do it. So I mean, your life's your own, and if it's in the privacy of your own home, do what you want.
All right, let's listen to a track from World Outside. This is called In My Head. You want to talk about this?
Not really, just play it.
Okay, this is the Psychedelic Furs on Modern Rock Live. World Outside. That's called In My Head. We go now to Susie in Bloomington, Minnesota. Hi, Susie. You're on with Tim Butler on Modern Rock Live.
Hi. I just wanted to say you're a great group and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks,
You're
Susie.
in a great group as well.
Thanks, Susie. All right, let's go to Melissa in Colorado. Hi, Melissa, listening to on KTCL.
Hi, I was wondering what motivated you to write the song Don't Be a Girl and what it's about.
Don't Be a Girl is about not listening to all this crap you get in advertisements about, to be a girl you have to be gorgeous looking, wearing corsets and whatever. I mean, just be yourself. Don't believe and don't sort of be swayed by all the ads of the perfect woman, or just be yourself.
All right, let's go to Scooter in Minneapolis. Scooter, how are you? You're on with Tim Butler.
Okay, I was just wondering, what do you think about Nirvana?
In the dark, we are this. In the dark, it's great. It's one of those bands that comes along every few years that crosses over. I think they're really good. I can't wait to see them live.
Did you see them on Saturday Night Live? They were just on.
Yeah, they're a bit sloppy. I like it when the bass player threw the cymbal at the drummer and hit him with his own cymbal. but they're cool. I really like them.
Yeah, they're a great band. It's Christina in Detroit, Michigan on 89X. Hi, you're on with Tim Butler.
Hi, Tim.
How you doing, Christina?
Fine, thanks. How are you? Maybe I just
Happy New Year.
Pardon?
Happy New Year.
Oh, yeah, you too. Listen, I remember being in, about 7th or 8th grade and reading an article when, Richard was talking about...
What's that, 5 or 6?
We can only hope.
I don't know, I'm English, so... I'm from Ohio.
So 7th and 8th grade would be about 11 or 12 years old, 13?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
And I remember reading an article where Richard was talking about coming to New York for the first time and, being influenced by, the Velvet Underground and stuff like that. And I was wondering, who some of your other influences were.
Around about that time, I mean, the Velvet Underground was the big influence, but I think lyrically, Richard it was Bob Dylan, because from an early age, my father was a big Bob Dylan fan, so we were brought up hearing Blonde on Blonde and, that sort of period, Bob Dylan for a lot. Early Stooges, I think, for the energy. Because we all know that the Velvet Underground aren't usually big on energy. But
No, they kind of sit back.
Those three are the main influences.
Who would you want to work with if you had a chance to produce anybody, or who would you want to produce right now? Any up-and-coming bands that you've seen that you're like, wow, I'd like to really get involved and help them out and become better?
Nirvana. No, it's got to be, isn't it? No. The word on everybody's lips.
Yeah.
Whichever lips we're talking about. I mean, Nirvana's a great band. I'm a big fan of the Pixies.
You like the new record?
Not as much as I've forgotten.
Doolittle?
Doolittle, yeah. I mean, that's great. I mean, I can't grasp onto the new album as well. But that sort of band, I think, is great because they're reintroducing more of a guitar-orientated rock to the charts. Especially Nirvana, busting down walls, left, right, and centre,
and beating Michael Jackson, which is on the Billboard.
Well, no, I haven't seen them beating him, but they're outselling him.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, no, we don't go to.
I know he likes beating, but I mean,
so they say. Tim in Hastings, Minnesota. Hi, Tim. You're on with Tim Butler.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
How's Hastings?
Pretty boring.
Hey, at least you're honest then.
I know there was a battle there in 1066, wasn't there?
That's right, Battle of Hastings. Were you there?
I'm a real history buff, so I know that.
This is where all the hicks are.
You said it.
You don't.
No, sorry.
You don't have web feet. You don't have web feet, right?
No.
Okay, good. Okay, go ahead, Tim. What's your question?
Okay, how did you get the name the Psychedelic Furs?
Okay, Tim.
Oh, boring. Oh, God. Well,
There are hicks out there. They don't know these things. They don't read newspapers.
read every article that comes out. No, we when we started up, all the punk bands had heavy anti sort of psychedelia names, the Sex Pistols and Venus and the Razor Blades and bands The Clash and Stranglers and stuff. So and we just wanted to say to people that we're more into that sort of. I mean, that music did have, I think, more or as equal an effect on music as punk did, because we took a bit of our sound from psychedelia and a lot of it from the sort of record company butt-kicking sound of punk. So, I mean, they're both equally as influential. As for the Furs, I don't know, it just sort of rolled off the tongue.
There you go. There's your answer. Let's play our last track, and we appreciate you coming down, Tim, and spending some time with us.
Nice.
And we hope to see you soon on the next round of the tour, and maybe get the whole band up here to play. That'd be nice. Wouldn't that be nice?
Get a bigger studio.
You want to introduce the next song?
This is a song. It's a personal favourite of mine called "All About You"
on Modern Rock Live. Thanks again, Tim.
Thank you.